You would think that the police force should be brimming with intelligence. That is not the case for this group of policemen, as they let a suspect slip from their fingers in the most foolish manner. The policemen arrived at the house with the sole objective of apprehending a suspect. Attempting to gain entry, they faced a locked door, with the elusive suspect ignoring their pleas to open it. This should have served as a warning sign for the police. Finally, they break into the house, and what happens next questions the competence of the policemen. All of them go into the house, and in mere seconds the suspect drops from the window just above them and escapes. Usually, you would expect some policemen to wait outside to prevent the suspect from escaping, but I guess policemen make mistakes too. If you've been around for some time, you probably know about parkour. It's when someone tries to go from point A to B as quickly as possible without touching the ground. It's pretty intense, right? Now, what if you try to dodge the NYC police using parkour moves? In the midst of a parkour game, the NYPD approaches a guy hopping around. They question his unconventional activity, thinking it might be a restricted area. The parkour enthusiast clarifies he's just engaged in athletic pursuits, trying to navigate the urban landscape in his unique way.
Sorry. Parkour.
And before the police could utter another word, you guessed it, the man parkoured out of their way, but in the most thrilling way you expect. He jumps from what seems like a high-rise building onto a stairway right under it, but not before flipping them the bird. Daring. He blends into the NYC crowd, thrilled at his feat. Perhaps he had a stroke of luck, and this should not be tried again. One can't help but speculate on the nature of the man's alleged crime that prompted such a daring escape from the police in this way. Strapped with a parachute, he attempts to scale a bridge even with a squad of police behind him. He ignores them and remarks that he is going to do so anyway.
I'm under arrest anyways.
Trying to leap off the bridge, the man is confronted by a policeman cautioning against the jump. Unsurprisingly, he disregards the warning, continuing with his daring act. Surprisingly, the policeman makes no attempt to stop him, perhaps as any interference with his escape would endanger him. The police observe silently as he leaps off the bridge and safely reaches the shore. Curiously, they make no move to pursue him as he dashes away. Quite intriguing. This officer was in for quite a chase when this teenager surprised them all. The video starts surprisingly with the teenager already detained by the officers for possession of marijuana. In a surprising turn of events, the initially hostile crowd vehemently opposes the officer for making the arrest. However, the unfolding events take an even more shocking turn, revealing an unexpected twist. Edged on by the crowd, who now make the officers uncomfortable, the teenager breaks free and makes a run for it as the officers earnestly chase after him. But the shocking part is that even the crowd seems to join in on the chase. This policeman does the most outrageous thing after a suspect escapes. You can't guess this right.
What the f***? What the hell man? Police was that chasing him?
There is a hot chase between a policeman and a suspect. To the police's detriment, he does not seem fit, as he seems to be struggling to run as the suspect easily runs off. As predicted, the suspect eludes the pursuing policeman. Brace yourself, for what unfolds next will send shivers down your spine. The policeman makes no attempt to continue the chase, but takes a step back and removes his harness. Why would a policeman remove his harness on the job?
You know, you've been sick. What's wrong with this guy? Oh no!
He flings his harness and struggles with his pants. Suddenly he pulls down his pants and bends over on the ground. The policeman seems to be taking a dump right after a suspect evades him.
Oh my God. He's a dirty
He proceeds to remove his shoes and socks, using the latter to clean himself. Nonchalantly discarding the soiled socks, he puts his shoes back on, secures his harness, and strolls away as if his unconventional actions were perfectly ordinary. This young Thai biker tries to escape a police biker who had an order to arrest teenage riders around the city. Brandishing a baton, the policeman attempts to intimidate the young boy. Despite the officer's efforts, the skilled boy adeptly maneuvers his bike, skillfully evading the pursuing police biker. The young boy seems to be begging the police biker for mercy as the consequences of his actions suddenly dawn on him. This prison escapee convinces this cop that he is a jogger.
Devil. Is he you live around here, buddy? No. Where you live at?
Down the road by Pineville.
This cop by the name Carl Bordelon accosts this seemingly harmless jogger. As cop instincts go, Carl is suspicious and perhaps would have caught this escapee if he wasn't such a great actor. The cop asks him some basic questions, and the escapee reveals his name is Robert Jones.
Man, it's hot.
Hey, this is Carl. Subject wear glasses?
Carl dials another off-duty policeman, recounting the scenario. The cop instructs Carl to inspect Robert Jones's body for incriminating evidence, but nothing is found to implicate him.
Man, it's hot.
Hey, this is Carl. Subject wear glasses?
This interrogation goes on for several minutes, and something that is worthy of note is that somewhere along the line, the escapee's name magically changed from Robert Jones to Jimmy Jones. Somehow this cop doesn't notice and lets him go.
10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Who y'all work for?
It's his,
I know, what's the name of the company?
Phil's Roofing.
Okay.
Phil's Roofing.
Did you go through a block?
One thing is certain, this cop harbors trust issues. The convict's unwavering confidence is intriguing. Later, post-escape, it surfaces that the escapee's true identity is Richard Lee McNair. He fled to Canada, but was eventually apprehended. Prepare to be astonished by how this wheelchair-bound convict orchestrated a shocking and unexpected escape.
You good?
The officer calmly escorts the wheelchair-bound convict to the courthouse, seemingly dismissing any escape concern. His distracted demeanor, diverting attention from the restrained prisoner, implies a perceived lack of flight risk. However, the subsequent events likely leave the officer utterly shocked, shaking him to the core, as the supposedly limited escape options prove insufficient to contain the resourcefulness of the wheelchair-bound convict.
Hey, you see a shoe back there? Where is it?
He wheels the convict to the door of the courthouse, and as he attempts to go in, this convict miraculously grips the railings by the door, jumps out of the wheelchair, and runs away. The policeman is puzzled for a moment before he takes after him, but he's quite late, as precious moments have been wasted.
Cut that way.
What you need? My damn radio came out.
In an unexpected twist, the officer, without a phone or radio, relies on civilians to summon help. Exhausted and unable to locate the escaped convict, he retreats to the police van, leaving the elusive individual unaccounted for. Get ready for the ultimate switcheroo. This suspect pulls off a mind-bending escape, leaving the police dumbfounded with their jaw-dropping tactics.
Roll down the window. What's up, bro?
Waiting for my mom, sir.
Okay, you're just parked illegally, that's it, alright? And you got dark window tint.
I'll go.
No big deal.
These policemen arrest this suspect, who is parked illegally. They inform him of his offence and urge him to turn off his engine. A flicker of emotion sets off in the suspect's expression as he fidgets and tells them he would rather park elsewhere. However, noticing his demeanour, the policemen insist he turn off his engine. Defying orders, the suspect ignores the police and speeds away. However, the situation escalates as the police open fire on the fleeing car, causing it to skid off the road. A surveillance camera captures the man walking into a boutique. In a surprising turn of events, he changes his black t-shirt to a red jersey inside the boutique and confidently walks out, successfully evading the police. Eventually, he enters another store and emerges wearing a face mask. It's astounding how a simple t-shirt change can serve as an effective disguise. Not every day you witness a prisoner making such a smooth escape. These prisoners file into a courthouse one by one. Quite slyly, one of the stealthy walks out of the courthouse and runs off into the street. The crazy part is that the prison guards do not seem to notice. They carry on with their business as if nothing out of the ordinary had occurred. Perhaps they genuinely did not notice the prisoner. Escaping from prison seems remarkably easy in this instance. Daring escape attempt. This prisoner cannot be afraid of heights. The surveillance footage depicts two men strolling through the courtroom, one a prisoner, the other a prison guard. Watching closely, there seems to be a disagreement between the two. The prisoner evades the guard, but the guard keeps pressing onto him, which is his job. Growing increasingly fidgety, the prisoner briefly sits in a chair and then stands. Sensing something imminent, the guard places a hand on him, anticipating the unfolding events. Suddenly, the prisoner brushes off the guard and jumps from the first floor of the High Court. In a few moments, the prisoner is seen running out of the building while the guard runs to seek help. This 17-year-old escapes custody. Handcuffed, the teen is escorted into the Rock County Sheriff's office. The sheriff departs, leaving the teen to his own devices within the confines of the office. Without a pause, the teen, seemingly premeditated, bypasses the chair, heads directly to an open window, and takes a daring leap, even with his hands cuffed. His escape unfolds swiftly, defying expectations. In the surveillance footage, the teen sprints into the streets. The sheriff, captured by the office camera, re-enters, realizing the teen's absence. Alarmed, he rushes out, seeking help in the pursuit. This ranks among the simplest prison escapes ever, executed with surprising ease and remarkable spontaneity. This police car pulls over at a drive-thru, and while the policeman is busy with his orders, the back door opens, revealing a handcuffed prisoner. Through the surveillance camera, the prisoner is seen to be struggling with his leg brace, and after a few moments, he runs off still handcuffed. In another revealing surveillance video, the unfolding of a seemingly straightforward prison escape raises a cascade of perplexing questions. As the officer notices the escaped prisoner, he tries to open the door, but the close proximity to the diner building thwarts his attempt. Adjusting, he drives forward, but the delay proves fatal. The prisoner is long gone. Curiously, the prisoner was unshackled during transport, prompting a series of inquiries. How did the prisoner effortlessly open the door? Why did the officer make a pit stop for food during a critical prisoner transfer? Did the prisoner manipulate the leg brace before the car halted? The complexity of the escape scene sparks suspicions of a potential inside job, leaving a myriad of unanswered questions lingering in the aftermath. What do you do when you see a prisoner attempting to escape? Do you cheer the prisoner on or report to law enforcement? Well, these bystanders had an interesting reaction to witnessing an escape. A prisoner managed to slip out of a police van parked on the streets. Conveniently, his leg got stuck in the door. This could have given bystanders more time to stop his escape, but they just watched and even cheered as he freed his legs and ran away. It was a strange incident. Another instance of law enforcement negligence. Maybe we shouldn't blame them too harshly, considering the demanding pressures of the job. These policemen left the convict in the police car and casually walked off, leaving him alone and unguarded. In a few minutes, the door opens and the convict runs away. The policemen scrabble, running after him. Luckily, later that day, they recaptured him. This man tries to evade a heavily manned courthouse. Just after a policeman uncuffs his legs, he pretends he wants to get blood flow to his legs by standing up. Suddenly, he dashes off. The policeman goes right after his tail, but unluckily for him, he is apprehended before he goes off. Imagine the number of policemen around him. That's because he is a double murder suspect. Imagine being a double murder suspect and risking an escape like that. This is probably the most intense criminal evasion you have seen. Suspense and drama all mixed in a 1-minute clip, creating a gripping spectacle for onlookers and law enforcement alike. This man is cornered by 2 police vehicles, but manages to squeeze his way out of their trap. It is a close call, as one police vehicle corners him further, but he escapes running away. By chance, he trips and falls, making him vulnerable and ready for recapture by the police. But as luck would have it, the policeman is too slow to seize the opportunity. The suspense builds in this daring escape sequence. The man stands up and runs, but is cornered again by another police vehicle. This man trips and falls the second time, but stands up in time to escape the police. The policemen are too slow for him as he easily outruns them, leaving them bewildered and unsuccessful in their attempts to apprehend him. Another surveillance video shows him going through some stores leading onto another street before he finally disappears into a building. The luck on that man's side is enormous. This car chase was taken off of the highway and into the backyard of civilians. It was an attempt on a suspect's part to evade the police. The chase has you on the edge of your seat as the police vehicle is so close to capturing the suspect. So close that the police vehicle nibs off the suspect's bumper. But even with a loose bumper, the chase still goes on, intensifying the gripping pursuit. As he turns around, this suspect seems to know the ins and outs of the neighborhood. There's no better place for a suspect to escape to than his neighborhood, utilizing every advantage he has. Finally, the police corner the man, but he gets out of the car and flees with 2 teenage children on his heels. Was the suspect showing the children the ropes of the business? This suspect could be the only thing faster than light, eluding capture with astonishing speed and agility.
Or 6-1 going on tonight. Some of the other ones, though, the authorities just gave up on. It's really starting to make me wonder if this is some kind of coordinated effort with some kind of bike gang.
In this chase, the police are nowhere to be seen as the motorcyclist goes off at outrageous speed levels. He even reaches 100 miles per hour at some point, leaving any pursuit far behind in the dust.
This is the exact same thing that person was doing earlier. It's even at a Shell station like that one was in Hollywood.
This is
I
deja
don't believe
vu.
this is the same person, though.
Oh my goodness.
The chase goes on for hours, even giving time for the suspect to make a pit stop at the gas station. How daring. This unexpected move adds another layer of audacity to the pursuit. This suspect pays no mind to safety, speeding down the highway and weaving between cars in the wrong direction with reckless abandon.
The police chase ended here in this parking garage after the chase went through multiple cities, at times becoming very dangerous, and all of...
The chase is said to have gone for hours as it cut across cities, from McKinney to Dallas, and all this is for a stolen truck. In fact, the suspect almost had head-on collisions with other drivers. The McKinney Police Department did not call off the chase, even as dangerous as it was.
He was carrying something in his hands and wearing gloves. It looked like he ran into a building, but officers ultimately searched nearby creeks because they believe he jumped in the...
Finally, the suspect parks the truck in a garage, jumps over a fence, and takes off running with a bag in hand. It looked like he had entered a building, but the police checked nearby areas for his whereabouts before ultimately calling off the chase. Was this suspect really drunk?
I need you to put your right foot in front of your left.
This man was pulled over as police suspect. He was driving under the influence. After a series of sobriety tests, the police ruled it a DUI. As a policeman conducts the search for the driver, he takes off on foot, handcuffed and all. It is amazing how fast the suspect ran with a handcuff as he reached the end of the sound barrier. What happens next really determines if he was truly drunk. At the end of the sound barrier, he jumps off the interstate, a 60-foot drop. The search continues as the police comb the area. The suspect must have been really drunk to risk that daring run and subsequent drop. The Las Vegas Police Department was in for a shock when a suspected murderer escaped in the craziest way imaginable.
After a brazen escape. In this just-released video, watch as Alonzo Perez, left alone by North Las Vegas detectives in this interrogation room, twist and break.
Left unattended in an interrogation room, Alonzo Perez seizes the opportunity for an audacious escape. Using his strength, he twists and turns until the sheer force breaks the handcuffs, freeing his hands. The question now lingers. What unfolds in the aftermath of his escape?
Paperwork. In less than an hour, Perez manages to climb out through the roof, still shackled by his ankles.
With his hands now freed, Alonzo Perez proceeds to crawl into the police department's roof, skillfully navigating to the outside. The remarkable twist lies in his ability to accomplish this without detection or causing any disturbance. Astonishingly, Alonzo successfully escapes the building on foot, despite the shackles still restraining his feet. How do you think this suspect went against the law? It is revealed that this suspect eluded pursuing officers after allegedly driving recklessly and ramming an officer's patrol vehicle. That's a lot of offenses. The Middleton Police Department in Ohio said the pursuit began when an officer witnessed the suspect allegedly firing shots out of his car window. According to police, the driver of the vehicle was identified as 26-year-old Maliak Davis. Police say they have a warrant for Davis's arrest for multiple felony charges. This dirt bike goes off the road to evade Arkansas State Police. The Arkansas State Police apprehended the suspect for a traffic violation. He evaded them and then had the courage to take a pit stop at the gas station. Unfortunately for him, he is apprehended again.
6th Street over here by these apartments.
Fortunately for him, he knows how to work a dirt bike, so he is easily way ahead of the police. The chase continues until the suspect takes the chance and swerves off the road. Luckily, this isn't a highway chase, so few vehicles are on the road. The suspect is soon out of sight, and the police are forced to end the chase. This old Toyota Camry was built to last, proving its durability.
Warren, I'm coming down Army Church Road. It's a green Toyota Camry, Arkansas 491.
In a car chase involving a police vehicle and an old Toyota Camry, when the Camry successfully evades the police, you know that the driver has racked up quite the experience in car chases.
Road, we're coming out back out towards 63.
Copy. Right on me and
The suspect leads the police through a hunting trail, most likely ruining someone's afternoon deer hunt. This driver must be ripped out of a GTA 5 game as he lines in and out of turns, braking and accelerating at the right time, reading the terrain. There is no way the police will catch this one. This 2003 Acura was stopped by an officer for driving erratically. The suspect escaped the apprehension and fled. During the pursuit, he struck an officer who was standing outside his vehicle and almost hit 2 other squad cars head-on. Despite the car chase being this dangerous, the police did not end it. The suspect in return refused to stop and reportedly reached the speed of 100 miles per hour before exiting onto the interstate. After long minutes, he drove through the field and then through a fence back into the interstate. Finally, the police terminated the chase after losing sight of the vehicle. Good one, 2003 Acura. At the end of the day, you may find yourself rooting for this speed chase driver.
High-speed chase. Now look at that. He made a turn back to the north on surface streets there, and will continue northbound as alongside the.
This suspect takes a stolen Kia Soul on a good old car chase. This is unlike any car chase you have witnessed, as the driver makes a conscious effort not to cause any accidents or draw attention to himself.
Right now in the Southwest Division of LAPD, but the unit's trying to get behind the car. A lot of homeless.
Although it is late at night, his headlight is off, except for the moments where he needs to indicate his turns.
People living right along that street, a very dangerous situation. Now back to the other side of the freeway, a left turn going westbound, and we'll see which way the car goes. We want to keep a wide shot.
His driving skills are put to the test when he approaches a bridge. He swerves right under the bridge, losing the police. They scout the area in search of him, but of course he is nowhere to be found. It's hard to tell where he went, as he seemed to never come out of the other end of the bridge. I bet these policemen didn't expect to chase an athlete.
This man for no reason. He said his name Deshaun, that man's name is not Deshaun. And he asked that man, do he want for? Oh?
These policemen apprehend a man, but the man pays no respect to them. He breaks free from their grip and jumps over a low fence. He then runs and jumps over another fence. What he did next was very unexpected. He flips over another fence and, as if showing off his athletic skills, he then flips over yet another fence, leaving everyone astonished by his agility. The police are left dumbfounded for moments, and it is too late to capture the man. What a show! You've seen a one-man car chase, but have you seen a two-man? These 2 men lead the police into a dangerous high-speed car chase with multiple close calls.
San Fernando Valley with multiple close calls. That SUV eventually pulling onto a side street. That's where someone got out and was quickly spotted by the airship overhead.
The police chase an SUV, but suddenly the driver pulls onto a side street and gets out. Unfortunately for him, he was quickly spotted by an airship overhead, and officers swiftly pulled him onto the street and cuffed him.
Pulling onto that street, and a few moments later, that man is proned out on the pavement being cuffed by officers. But what happened to the pursuit vehicle he emerged from?
But to the dismay of the police, the SUV disappears while they cuff the man. How could an SUV roll out of a side street?
Minutes later, that SUV is spotted again, and the pursuit is on again. This time, the driver pulls onto the Orange Line busway. That's where he suddenly stops and footbands.
A few minutes later, the SUV is found, and the pursuit begins again. The driver pulls onto a bus lane, stops, and then footbails. He goes over a guardrail and makes his way to the LA River.
lights up the LA River, the man is seen running through the concrete channel, and then he runs right into a side channel, and that takes him underground.
The police airship overhead lights up the LA River, and the man is seen running through the concrete channel. Then he runs into a side channel, taking him underground and out of sight. Officers are there again, quick to arrive and make their way into the LA River, but they do not follow the man inside the channel. This daredevil motorcyclist leads police on a dangerous chase. Motorcycles without license plates are usually a call for attention, and the police would naturally pull over these riders. This man rides a non-plated motorcycle, and even as the police request that he pull over, he ignores them, setting them on a dangerous chase through the highway. This chase happened in White Settlement, Dallas-Fort Worth, and the rider seems to know his way around the area as he goes through dizzy turns in an attempt to lose the police. These turns are easily dangerous, especially as they happen so suddenly, not to mention the fact that there are other cars on the highway, escalating the risk of collisions. The motorcyclist even goes as far as ignoring traffic lights, thereby putting him at more risk, but in the end, it pays off as he successfully evades the police.